Oh, this is fun for me. So, what we have here is the carcass of my Shindaiwa 575, and I am wanting to play with it. The cool thing about these Shindaiwas, the 575, I think the 550, um, definitely the 577 and the 680 and the 695. Scratch the 577. So the 695, 680, 575, 550. I believe every one of those saws have interchangeable cylinders. They all take, they have a 36 millimeter stroke and various different, various different cylinders, sizes, bores, all the way up to 49 millimeters, which is the 680. And what's unique about this to me is this absolutely 100% is the size of a 50cc chassis. So, and you can punch it all the way out to 68 cc's. What? So anyways, I'm trying to get a cylinder, a 68 cc cylinder. So that's a 49 millimeter bore. I'm trying to get a 49 millimeter bore cylinder for it off of a 695, but they're hard to come by. And they're very hard to come by. And so my brain got to thinking about it. So like little things like mismatch, or not mismatch, but the intake on this has the exact same part number as the intake for a 757. And you guys know I like the 757, right? It has the same part number for the carb as well. The carb, it takes the same exact carburetor. So I'm wondering if I can make a 757 cylinder go on this. Because then you would have a 50cc chassis with, what is it, the 73 point something cc's for the 757. Wouldn't that be fun? But then I got to thinking, well, it is a 36 millimeter stroke, and yeah, that's the same thing as the 757 Shindaiwa. That's the same thing. But it's also the same stroke as a 372 XP. So I have the Shindaiwa 575 cylinder right here, and I have the Shindaiwa 757 cylinder right here, and I also have a Husqvarna 372 XP original edition cylinder. So I'm going to pop the gasket off of here, and we're just going to see how close these bolt patterns are, and if I can make something happen. You know what I mean? I guess I'm probably going to need my, I'll get this razor knife. One thing I do know, these Shindaiwas, they like their wide bolt pattern. From side to side, they always seem to be kind of wide. So regardless of whether or not I can get a different cylinder to fit on this, I felt comfortable taking this apart because, I wanted to, at bare minimum, to have a fresh set of rings in here. Probably do a port job, even though I don't really so much want to do a port job. It's an open cylinder on this 575, and I mean, you can get it to perform well. I'm certain you can, but nothing special, I bet. Just my thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Come on, come off of there. Don't make me break you. There we go. There we go. The cylinder is off, or the gasket is off in one piece. So first up, let's have a look at the 757 setup. This is a brand new cylinder because as good as my 757 runs, I can't stand that it's not as good as the second 757 that I built. And so I want to redo it. So I got a new cylinder sitting right here. But let's see if this gasket will match up. Oh my God, it matches up. Oh my God, it straight matches up. Oh my God. It straight matches up. Bruv. God. Oh, that is so exciting. That is so exciting. The only thing that's different is the cylinder, right? The skirt is definitely bigger than the skirt on this little guy right here. Right? This right here is, I think it's 47 millimeters. I don't know. Can't remember. It's a 57cc with a 36 millimeter stroke. So '46, '47, something like that. Anyways, so I'll have to probably, well, let's just see. First, let's take this gasket off. We know that the bolt holes line up perfectly. So let's see if the crankcase opening is large enough. No, it's not. But it's just barely different. It's just barely different. So I can definitely open up that crankcase in order to make this fit. That's no problem. I can definitely do that. The next thing to check is going to be how deep. How deep is your love? How deep is your love? How deep? I'm singing the Bee Gees. I don't know how y'all stand even listening to me. It's got to be awful. All right. So this one right here, the depth. All right. 76 millimeters. Hmm, 76 millimeters. Now let's see how deep this one is. Ooh, not nearly as deep. So what's that tell us? That tells us that, seeing how both of these saws have the same stroke, 36 millimeters, it tells us that the piston for that 757 has a much taller height from wrist pin to the top of the crown, right? Because they have the same stroke, so the piston is going to be a taller piston. Let me grab that piston real quick. So let's see here if I'm right. No. Looks like it's the other way around. Looks like the... Oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So the 575 cylinder can be shorter because all of that space is being taken up by a taller piston. Because these pistons, I don't want to take it out of the plastic. But oh shit, what's going on? The 757 piston is significantly taller. I don't know what's going on. Whatever, I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. I bet you I can find a piston, a 51 millimeter piston, to make this setup work. Okay, let me just say it like that. I bet you I can make it work. But the one thing that's more important to me than that, does this wrist pin line up? They might have different sized wrist pins. That'll be a challenge, but not something that we can't overcome. We can overcome that. So let's move on, moving on. Is this within the realm of possibility? Absolutely, it is. So we know that now. It's in the realm of possibility. But what we got to look at now is this in the realm of possibility? A 372 XP cylinder. All right, so let's see the depth on it. Much closer. Look at that. Very close. Very, very close in depth on that. Now let's see how close the holes are to lining up. Now that's a bit of a problem. So, I mean, you could probably do something with the holes. I don't know. That's a stretch. That's a stretch right there. Don't know if I'd be able to do anything with that. Just don't know. So there is a third option here that we should look at. The 272 cylinder. And that is very close. And we can make something work with that. What we're looking at are these holes, how closely they match up. All right. Now, what I want to actually use a 272 cylinder on this. I mean, maybe just for the fun of it kind of thing, maybe. But what I'm getting at is two things, right? As big as possible, Shindaiwa 757 set up on there, that would be pretty slick. Okay, and that's looking like it might be the most reasonable option. We just would have to do some machine work. You know, the bolt holes line right up though, and I think we could make something happen there. But the other option that is in my head that I keep looking at, that I'm interested in, is trying to get a 372 XP cylinder on there, because if I can get that to fit, then I can get a 365 cylinder to fit. And how fun would it be to have this thing as my 65cc racer for Sawfest? You know, I'm just hoping and dreaming at this point, you know, that's really all it is. But yeah, that'd be pretty wicked cool, you know, to have a 65cc racer that's actually a 50cc chassis. Yeah, I'm digging it. But we'll see how it goes. I don't know, you know. It definitely looks like this Shindaiwa cylinder, I would be able to mate it up on there. So I can take this cylinder and put it on my 757 and fix the problems that I felt like I had with my 757 and then take that cylinder and put on here. Or I could sell that cylinder. It's a perfectly good ported cylinder for a 757 that runs very, very good. It just doesn't run as good as the second one that I built, and that's bothering me. So if you want to buy that cylinder off of me, give me a holler. It'd be a really cheap way to have your Shindaiwa 757 ported. You just have to take my cylinder off and put it on yours. Or I mean, I would mail it to you, and you put it on yours. So, but anyways, I don't know, just dreaming. That's it. Just dreaming. How cool would it be to have this thing pumped all the way up to nearly 74 cc's? Maybe it's more than 74 cc's because it is called a 757. I can't remember. But I think it's 73 point something. Yeah. All right. Later.